Dalam BuzzPOP hari ini, kita bakal membedah siri animasi My Villain Academia Season 5 episod 23. Para panelis kita hari ini terdiri daripada saya, Nadzru Iskandar daripada BuzzPOP TV, Kaki manga kita Anri Alwi. What's up bro? How you doing man?
Hi Riz. How's up?
Serta Kaki anime kita Shazli American. What's up bro?
Sihat.
Alright, so jom kita mulakan perbincangan malam ini dengan reaksi satu ayat. Reaksi satu ayat aku adalah wow. Memang tragic backstory tu. Episod minggu ini berjudul TENKO SHIMURA Origins dan kita dapat melihat berapa tragicnya backstory dia. So, apakah reaksi satu ayat para panelis? Kita mulakan dengan Anri. Silakan Anri.
Satu ayat Papa.
Was this darker in the manga? Or
It was dark in the manga, but the portrayal here is better. So, that's 2 weeks in a row. So, good job for them lah. Apparently, the mangaka has a lot of daddy issues. We see this as a recurring theme with Endeavor. He did it so well. So kudos to him lah.
Nice. Shaz, apakah pendapat kau sebagai seorang anime watcher only? Silakan.
Dia sama macam cerita Loki lah. The main villain Shigaraki tak bersalah. Macam cerita Loki kan, Sylvie tak bersalah kata, Sylvie tak bersalah. I will kibarkan that bendera for a long time. But yes, dia that will be my one reaction lah, because ultimately kan yang bersalah sebenarnya adalah bapa Shigaraki.
Yes. Kita akan bincangkan tu lagi dalam 5 segmen menarik kita. Tapi sebelum kita ke segmen-segmen seterusnya, kita akan bacakan beberapa komen dari penonton di rumah. Amirul tanya aku dah makan ke belum? Tak lagi bro, aku tak makan lagi. Maybe lepas live stream ni. Random. Seterusnya Kudo bertanya, Boku no Reaksi satu ayat, Zankoku nabirein no teize. Teruk gila aku punya bacaan. Shaz, do you want to read that? Did I misread it? Silakan.
Tak, this one is actually the name of Evangelion punya intro song.
Oh.
Tapi aku tak tahu if dia punya spelling, sebab dia change instead of a cruel angel's thesis, dia tukar jadi a villain's thesis. So aku Zankoku nabiren no teizi. So teizi tu is thesis.
Oh,
so biren
okay,
tu is villain. So Zankoku na tu
nice.
Dia take it from there lah. So tu bila aku tengok cruel villain's thesis tu aku macam like the gear lah kepala tu berpusing like kat mana aku pernah tengok benda ni.
So menurut Kudo, in short, it is a holy shit episode. Holy shit. Yeah.
Kudo is referring to Neon Genesis Evangelion, another anime with a lot of hero versus daddy issues juga. Because Gendo Ikari is one of the biggest assholes in the show. And the whole world fuckery is also dia bertanggungjawab lah. So betul? Accurate?
Yes. A cruel villain's thesis indeed. Seterusnya Amirul menambah, reaksi satu ayat, a tribute to those yang ada daddy issues. Oleh kerana silam ayahmu, engkau yang menjadi mangsa. Nameless menambah, dark gila episod ini.
Betul tau. When you consider the previous episodes is even the part where the Yakuza boss tangan dia kena destroy pun kau tak rasa tau. Because it was adults. You know, there is a villain against villain. You're like, villain dah kena. So you're like, that's fine. But this one, an entire family kau tu. So like, dalam anjing tu pun tak lepas. The anjing was the first. So like, hey!
Gila kan? Yes. I cannot wait until we get to the last segment now, because there was one great line there. Yeah.
I think that dog is the same dog as in Cowboy Bebop, a corgi.
Yeah man. Kesian tu. Tak pasal. Okay, seterusnya Hakim Ashram berkatakan season ni sampai episod berapa if we base it on last season, it should be 25 kan?
25 or 26. Depends on the producers actually. I think we're down to the last episode next week. This week or next week. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because this was 23, so maybe kita ada 1 or 2 more lah kan?
2 more,
24
yeah.
25, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, seterusnya dia menambah, nak simpan sampai habis season ni. Kau tengok je lah bro, kau nak marathon sekali. Sebab apa? Join us. Dah tinggal 2 episod lagi. Okay, by the way nak tanya panelis, layan tak Attack on Titan? Tak.
layan.
Cover tak Attack on Titan final season part 7? Tak. Pasal dah banyak sangat terlepas. So kita orang tak plan untuk tidak cover Attack on Titan final season part 2. Sorry bro. Tapi we're looking forward to covering Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, benda-benda yang baru start. You know, even Jojo yang dah core kelima pun we look forward to covering that. So tengok macam mana lah. Tapi kalau benda yang dah nak habis, maybe kita dah terlalu lambat, you know. Ataupun benda yang dah banyak sangat episod macam One Piece. Sorry ya. I'm not going to spend 3 weeks of my life marathoning One Piece 24 hours in a row. Tu kalau aku tak kerja, aku tak buat benda lain kecuali aku tengok One Piece. It will cost me 3 weeks of my life.
Aku pernah tengok ada one lady, dia calculate.
Yeah.
Dia spend berapa ni in one day. It'll take her 30 days solid
Yes.
watching nothing else but One
just
Piece.
One Piece. Yes.
Gila.
Okay, Kudo menambah. Aku cancel nak recommend kat nephew aku umur 11. Ni bukan. Okay. Alright guys. So dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita bakal membincangkan 5 babak menarik daripada episod minggu lepas. Alright, so babak menarik yang pertama adalah di DEIKA City, Spinner versus Hanabata, di mana watak sampingan mendapat spotlight untuk sejenak. So ada quote menarik daripada Hanabata yang supposedly quote dia lah trumpet. My warriors, strike the enemy who threatens us with divine punishments. So soalan aku kepada para panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang backstory Spinner sebagai seorang hikikomori duduk kat rumah for life sebelum meta powers yang timbul? I did not expect that tau. So dia nampak macam Ninja Turtle yang cool walaupun dia bukan turtle, aku faham. Serta apakah pendapat anda tentang kuasa Hanabata? Secocok tak dengan kerjayanya sebagai seorang politikus? Kita mulakan dengan Shaz. Silakan Shaz.
Okay, firstly yang Spinner punya power tu aku rasa memang he was born specifically as gecko. Sebab benda tu is not something that can happen overnight. Macam kita tengok Floppy kan, dia memang born to be a frog punya character. So it's something that was memang dari lahir lah. So Hanabata ni is a very interesting character because I think that dia punya ability to lead and the fact that dia punya ability is empowering people who trust in him as a leader made him to become very interested in politics. Sebab in politics kita tengok dalam mana-mana negara, yang penting is you boleh pengaruh orang and then you boleh dapatkan orang untuk buat kerja for you. So in that sense, I think Hanabata punya power is very on the dot lah dari segi dia punya kemahiran and dia punya application untuk masuk dalam politik and influence people. Cuma satu interesting thing lah, aku notice lah, a lot of heroes dia orang, or villains ni kadang-kadang dia orang ambil dia punya villain name tu or power name tu, they give out what their power is. Macam trumpet. Why do you want to tell people your voice is the ability, sound based or present mic? Oh, Mamat ni mesti ada banyak menjerit apa kan? That's why macam orang karakter macam All Might is interesting sebab All Might, what is power? Just muscle. Okay lah. Then you have siapa nama yang Mamat kayu tu? Anri?
Kayu?
Kamui Woods Kamui.
Something like that. Kamui apa tu? He's the yeah, hero kayu. I can't remember. I remember his power, but
Itulah dia punya nama pun macam it gives a hint of dia punya power. Kenapa tak contohnya kan kalau katakan All Might tiba-tiba nama kau apa? Saya Dolphin Man. Lepas tu orang macam like, tapi kau tak masuk laut. You tak ada relationship dengan dolphin. Exactly. So kau tak boleh teka lah power aku.
I think this is a Japanese thing lah. I think it's like those samurai customs that before you fight, you have to introduce yourself and show your weapon. It's one of those Japanese custom things that
This is
we
the rule
see.
zero.
Yeah.
Itulah kan.
Well, like that, the Princess Bride. I'm renamed Toya. I've come to kill you. Some sort of introduction punya apa?
Gentleman lah.
Ritual.
Gentleman lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shaz dah habis jawab. Anri dah jawab dah?
Saya belum lagi.
Okay, so Anri, apakah pendapat kau tentang Spinner's backstory as a hikikomori and also Hanabata punya powers? Silakan.
I'm not surprised Spinner is a hikikomori. He dressed like orang yang spend too much time in Akihabara on the weekends. Collecting models, anime figurines, anime DVDs, my sort of people lah. But when he turn into crime, right? You see that it actually fits dia punya attitude, dia punya modus operandi. He's a gecko powered need with otaku tendencies, and he is actually drawn to Stein's ideas to promote his version of justice. So dia punya dressing, dia punya skill it fits lah. As for Hanabata, perfect. A politician who can control people with your voice. Exploitation through audio sensory. He's like a better version of Shinso. Shinso can control one piece person. He can control like a horde of people and make them berserk. Yeah.
It's like mob violence, man.
Yeah, that's why he's one of the high officers for Re-Destro.
Yes. Dia tak payah lawan. Dia suruh orang lain lawan tu dia. Yeah.
Or he just say lempang dia pukul. Strength plus 50 points.
Yes, that's the mark of a true general.
Aku saja baca tau power gecko ni tau dalam Wikipedia kan. Tak ada benda bro.
Ya,
Dia ada ability to regenerate lost limb. Itu pun ekor je lah at most. Aku macam like,
wow.
So
killer limb.
I mean the part that he's sticking on the wall tu dah is expected already. But what if ini teori Brazil lah, Anri dia dengar je kan. What if he has a hidden ability that is awakened, that he can influence people not so much by dia punya ability tau, but the fact that he himself can relate to all the losers out there. Kita semua loser. I am a loser like you. So kenapa you nak pukul saya? I'm one of you. So macam like, betul lah. So that will make Hanabata bangga tau, sebab with zero power, but because you understand people, you are rakyat marhin kan. Aku ni loser macam korang. He can control them better. So that would be so epic when a person who selalu duduk dalam bilik tak pernah jumpa orang, tiba-tiba can influence so many people. Betul lah. Dia ni memang loser macam kita lah. Why are we listening to this VIP here?
The power of depression. Bahaya tu. Suicidal. Depression.
Tapi aku do appreciate the fact that he takes one for the team. Dia ada cakap yang macam aku kena take one for the team to make sure that Shigaraki gets to push it off near the tower. So dia ada walaupun kita tak nampak lagi dia ada awakening, tapi kita nampak dia ada a sense of sacrifice lah. That was pretty cool. Kita ada satu soalan menarik yang ni untuk panelis ya. Nak tanya kepada panelis, lari tajuk sikit, tolong recommend anime baru season fall bulan 10, bulan 12, 2021 yang best untuk ditontonkan. Tak kira tajuk atau genre. So silakan.
Aku tak sure what's coming up.
I pretty sure you'll have to watch the second core of Mushoku Tensei, the homeless isekai. Apa lagi ya?
Goblin Slayer? Is it coming out this fall?
I think so. Goblin Slayer season 2. If it comes out, it's a must watch. Apa lagi? There's a lot of sequels apa for fall season. One name escape my mind, but on top of the list is those two lah for me.
Sekejap. Alang-alang tanya kan kita boleh check.
Okay, silakan Syaz tengah counter check.
See what is coming up. For 2021. Banyak gambar awet lawa je ni.
Aduh.
A lot. Lupin season 3. What do you think, Anri? Is Lupin a good series?
Lupin is
part 6 actually.
Lupin is a good series, but it has a lot of series, and each series kan it's a bit different than the previous one. Ada yang funny, ada yang adventurous, ada yang fighting brutal sangat.
Sounds like Jojo, man.
Jojo's always brutal.
Okay.
And always pelik. So it's quite constant lah.
Okay lah. So aku rasa Anri bagi dah 2 pilihan. Goblin Slayer season 2 dengan
Mushoku Tensei, homeless genius in a isekai world, something like that lah.
Nice. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke babak menarik kita yang kedua. Babak menarik kita yang kedua adalah tentang di DEIKA City juga, tentang Shigaraki versus Re-Destro, di mana ketua League of Villains akhirnya bertempur dengan ketua Meta Liberation Army. So ada quote menarik daripada Re-Destro yang bertanya kepada Shigaraki, what is the burden you carry? What are you trying to create? Or are you just a void that creates nothing? Dia nak tanya, why the fuck are you even alive lah, you know. So soalan kepada para panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang kuasa Re-Destro yang bagaikan The Incredible Hulk cuma berdasarkan stres dan bukannya anger? I was surprised. I did not expect him to be like macam Hulk macam tu. So apa pendapat kau, Syaz?
Aku sangat confused dengan dia punya power ni. Because you see stress ni is something that bila kita ada situation di mana kita tak puas hati ataupun kita exert ourselves a lot or kita ada deadline and so on, then benda tu akan jadi pressure kalau tak di remove akan jadi stress. Masalahnya, what is this guy doing bringing all his stress along? Plan dia semua tengah menjadi kot. So apa benda yang dia stressnya? Compared dengan the Hulk can find a reason to be angry. Kenapalah sinema tutup? Wah, kan? Mama, aku punya roti canai hangit ni, kenapa? So kau boleh trigger on the spot. But stress is something you carry along. Itu satu. I think dia mangaka nak differentiate antara the Hulk punya anger dengan stress macam dekat. But when you look at it specifically, macam like it doesn't make sense. Itu satu. Kedua, I'm just going to ignore the badan dia boleh jadi besar sebab dalam MHA punya world ni banyak cases orang boleh jadi membesar, so aku terima je. Yang kedua tu, aku last minute review balik tadi kan. Ada one scene tu, dia tengah tengok hidung ni apa ke? Benda tu macam minyak tau, dia boleh bergerak keluar daripada hidung tau, dia floating. Aku macam like, serious?
So that brown gunk is actually minyak. Okay.
Minyak ke apa ke benda? That was the part yang aku paling confused. Kalau aku tak tengok the third time tadi, right before kita punya ni kan, aku tak nampak, tak perasan langsung because yelah, first time kau tengok, what the hell kan? Then after that, second time kita tengok, macam like, oh okay, there's a plot story macam ni. Then third time, that small detail baru aku jumpa. Macam like, apa benda dia punya power ni? Is it something yang selaput diri dia? Tapi kalau you tengok sebelum dia naik stress, benda tu dekat kepala dia je.
It's slowly
internal ke external ke macam benda ni macam peluh berminyak.
And it
perlu
seems
kan keluar dia
to
kulit.
protect him from Shigaraki pasal dia pegang Shigaraki macam ni dengan dua thumb and a finger.
Kan? And then bila
Lepas
tu benda
tu
pecah, it's not
pecah.
him. Dia macam a separate armor layer tau. So macam like,
Macam Venom.
and last kali
Hmm.
aku ada kuasa kegelapan, macam
Hadouken.
Digimon, Ultraman semua ni kan. At least kalau benda tu colour brown, aku boleh terima lah. Ni bobolan minyak.
Ya,
Kan? Lepas tu benda tu meletup. Okay lah. Kau punya lemak ke minyak ke. Purple colour macam like.
Lepas tu dia cakap, like, "Oi, aku dah refine ni. Pokemon tu tak mati lagi. Bukan senang nak lari daripada fireball aku
Tu
ni."
lah, I'm at the peak of my power. Well, the moment you believe you dah sampai to your limit, that is your limit lah. I mean, bukan nak kata kita ni boleh lari naik KLCC Tower from the ground, lari on the wall kan. But there are some things which if you don't put yourself a limit, you can always go higher. Tapi itulah. Allah, sampai ke penguin jadi Caleb dia. So dia punya hidung tu aku tak tahan, dia macam penguin. He's right lah.
Itulah kan. So, Anri, orang minyak yang tersakiti or did the manga explain it better? Can you explain it to us?
I cannot explain because aku sendiri tak ingat apa how his power works. All I know is that he tries not to get upset, try to remain calm and smiling all the time and build up dia punya stress kan to build up his power because that's the source of his stress punya power factor. He never get pissed off. He's either he or he's very happy. That's it. Even when he was cutting off apa yang ketangkap dulu hostage Giren nama dia?
Giren ya.
Giren. When he was asking dia punya kuncu kan, potong dia punya jari kan. He was not macam potong jari je. He was like just cut off, slumber je. It was like what you call that, nonchalant. That's his attitude and that's for a reason. He's accumulating stress, accumulating emotion. I don't know how it works. Dia kata in the series he was once kena burn but there was no scars. I thought yang benda tu kan was dia punya burn scars and it moved around because of his powers. But like Shazli mention kan, I too get confused on dia punya power punya logic. So I just assume kan that could be some sort of physical, not symbiote. I think it's like a physical transformation and dia punya outer skin turns into like scar things, macam armor, something like that. Yeah, okay. But that's just my hypothesis. It's not factual.
Alright. So
yang interestingnya,
yeah.
There is a parallel or mirror antara dia dengan Shigaraki punya source of kenapa dia selalu duduk garu-garu. Nanti mungkin later kita boleh discuss lah dia kan.
Dia ada garu-garu ke?
Shigaraki, okay, since kita dah
Shigaraki aku tahu, tapi
Re-Destro tak ada.
Okay, alright. Kita akan bincangkan Shigaraki later. So kita ada 5 komen menarik. Pertama, Amirul berkata ini adalah form Re-Destro yang utilize hanya 80% kan? So episod depan 100%. Did he say that he's at 80%?
Yeah, he said something about 80%.
Liberation 80%.
Oh shit. So dia bukan final form
lagi dia. Dia suka
final form
dia 100% lah. Kalau kita tengok kepada anime manga Yu Yu Hakusho dulu, dia ada 100% and then maximum 100%. Aku macam dah mula mengarut dalam mangaka ni kan.
Toguro.
Toguro. That was like it's a maksud enlargement and inilah. That's why you tengok dalam dia punya
Dragon Ball
preview tu.
Yeah.
Dalam preview he can guna 2 of the stress ball. So I think he needs to go all out. Tapi aku rasa
stress ball
kan. So aku rasa dia to hit 100% akan memudaratkan dia. Itu yang that's why dia stop at 80. So kalau he go all out, macam the Hulk, kalau dia maximum reach dia akan jadi hilang akal kan. But
Yeah.
in this case, I think dia akan sakit or something serious lah.
Okay.
Jadi dia tak nak 100%.
Kemudian Ana Zainab bertanya, Re-Destro ni guna armament haki ke? Aku tak tengok, so I didn't get the joke.
Armament haki ni is from One Piece. So haki ni is like a special ability which is kept as a secret among the best fighters. Armament haki tu kalau tak silap, there's two types. One, you akan enforce your punya weapon macam Zoro. Dia punya pedang dia akan jadi kuat gila. And the one yang Luffy guna, dia ada macam almost the full body, tak silap aku. Unless they evolve further from the last one aku baca, aku tak ingat lah, but that is the armament haki lah.
Nice. Seterusnya, Nameless mengatakan, kebal betul Shigaraki kena tumbuk still hidup lagi. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Is this the part of his awakening?
Aku rasa sebenarnya Re-Destro ni dia pandang rendah tu Shigaraki. All the time pun dia ingat ni budak. So dia tumbuk lah 80% je. Selat, kau budak, buat apa aku nak kisahkan. Boop. Lelah tengok, dia tak mati lah. Dia tak jatuh lah. So aku rasa partly his arrogance kat situ lah.
Tapi bila Shigaraki start lari macam Naruto tu, macam kelakar tu.
That one, yang tu kan, is the concept of humans, kita punya mind ni kan, dia akan ada satu limiter tau, where kita tak akan perform beyond a certain percentage of our actual maximum ability. Sebab if you go that high all the time, you akan very fast injured. That's why kita selalu tengok cerita-cerita macam in real life, bukan anime or manga or whatever, where people yang anak dia dah nak kena langgar, dia boleh lari tu, rentas the road, grab the kid and bergolek. Not just tak ada luka, you ask him to run, or the mother or father to run that fast again, dah tak boleh lah.
Yes.
But at that moment of time,
fight or flight. Yes, fight or flight.
Dia punya otak tu dia cakap like, this is it, pop all your limiter, buka. So in this case, aku rasa Shigaraki punya awakening unlock dia punya limits. So that's why he can start moving at that speed. But it's a reckless punya speed lah. So that's why over time nanti dia akan kena lah, the impact nanti.
Alright. Yeah.
Iqbali said it's plot armor. I 50% agree. Another 50% just to defend apa the mangaka punya reasoning, right? Maybe Shigaraki punya awakening kan allows him to generate some sort of damper field against the damage.
Maybe.
Because you see, kalau you pegang kan, dia destroy. Maybe there's some sort of defensive mechanism involved. But logically, if Re-Destro tumbuk someone with that force kan, there's almost a punch macam All Might punya macam Detroit punch, something like that tau. Kalau ketumbuk kecai tau, mati. So I assume that part of the awakening powers yang Shigaraki dapat is actually some sort of innate aura or defense, something like that lah. We see him has a physical boost.
Macam boleh terima because you know why? Dalam the anime itself dia ada mention dengan 2 jari je pun dah boleh activate. So it might be possible that the rest of the body pun ada some form of decay power which he does not, dia tak boleh control, but it protects him.
I think we saw it 2 weeks ago kot, masa Spinner terkejut bila he just touch one person but the whole group hancur. So sekarang dia dah ada range. Dia dah mula ada range, bukan kena pegang dengan 5 jari or whatever ya.
Which is scary aku tahu. Kalau dia macam tu je, lepas tu kita just
yes, at the speed of mind, not even by touch anymore.
Even if this is true, it's still part of the plot armor lah. It's convenient.
It is convenient lah. Macam aku dah bagi 80% kau tak mati lagi, kimak. Okay. Then Kudo mengatakan stress can be hidden, Shaz. Kita tak tahu apa masalah Re-Destro. Maybe dia hilang girlfriend ke, Also, dia saja simpan stres yang buat to fuel his strength. Harap hidung mancung je, baik tak payah. Teori pakai hidung.
Aku rasa kan sebenarnya kan dia punya real source of stress kan. Sampai sekarang dia tak ada bini tu. Lepas tu tiap-tiap hari kan orang tanya, bila aku nak kahwin?
Oh, so dia macam simpan. Tu yang sampai jadi hitam tu bro. Kebencian tu macam ni.
Sampai bengang.
Betul.
Mana tahu kan tiba-tiba mak ni message kan, nak bila aku tak kahwin lagi nak. Memang dah bengang ni.
Syibal. Nak macam mana kan? Kita ada lagi satu komen, last komen daripada Amirul. Makcik Bawang pun tanya dia bro. Nice one. Okay guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke babak menarik kita yang ketiga. Babak menarik kita yang ketiga adalah tentang Gigantomachia to the rescue, di mana Gigantomachia akhirnya sampai ke medan peperangan. Like kita dengar skeptik calling cute gila tu macam dia keluarkan phone betul dia dengar macam ni. Skeptik apa hal? Macam ada sekali cakap, Re-Destro, watch out, he's headed your way. There is a powerful foe lurking around. So soalanku kepada para panelis, pada pendapat anda, adakah Gigantomachia bakal menolong Shigaraki mengalahkan Re-Destro? Atau adakah Gigantomachia bakal menapau kedua-dua villains sekaligus? Apakah spekulasi liar anda? Silakan Shaz.
Aku rasa what is going to happen is Shigaraki akan beat Re-Destro and dia akan stalemate dengan Gigantomachia. Because
baru earn kan.
Yes, so you see ultimately kan Gigantomachia doesn't have to be beaten tau. It must be dia mesti accept. So mungkin Gigantomachia dah nampak that Shigaraki beat Re-Destro, and then Re-Destro pula nampak Shigaraki can fight him to a stalemate. Macam like, Mojo aku tak buat dia lagi bengang tu, aku dah jadi habuk sekarang kan. Bukan, kalau tak silap aku, all the participants yang ada nama-nama ni semua they carry forward. And remember at the very end of episode mana ke? Or was it dia ada tunjuk Shigaraki was laughing. So that means kita secara tak langsung tahu dia dah menang lah. But how dia menang now kita bawa nak tengok.
Okay. That's menarik. Anri, what do you think?
I don't want to spoil, but ikut logik cerita ni kan, Gigantomachia is there to beat up Shigaraki. Shigaraki uses Gigantomachia punya presence to defeat the Liberation Army. So he's going to position himself logically to put himself and Gigantomachia and the enemy in between these two.
Betul.
So in the way Gigantomachia could defeat Re-Destro for him. I'm not going to spoil you what's going to happen. It could happen, it could not happen. But Gigantomachia is there for one reason, and it's not Re-Destro. Yeah.
Yes. I think that makes more sense because I really want to see how versus how. You know, dua badan besar and then going at it. Lepas tu like, wait, why are we even fighting? You know, it'd be nice kan.
Tapi kan, the one scene I hope ada lah dalam the next episode kan. Apa Garen nama Mama Ice tu.
Yes.
Garen. Geten.
Dia tu makin datang, apa ni lalat. Memang melayang.
Kau dah set up 2 episod lepas tu melayang macam tu je. Fuck off.
Kau siapa nak ice aku? Dah habis pun no my problem.
My job is done.
Dabi will be happy. Tak perlu apa stress. Pergi dekat Kalimat
kan. Aku tak pergi sekolah, aku belajar hari-hari, kuasa aku. Itulah. I mean this setup has been too long lah. Seriously lah. Aku macam kita kena gentle dah lama. It feels as bad as the Geten one, where it's been 2 episodes and then nothing. Jadi last episode baru macam bangun Gigantomachia, bangun. Lepas tu jadi kita baru nampak dia punya shadow. David, dah lah episode minggu depan is called, Shigaraki. So it is mostly going to focus on Shigaraki lah. So I hope these two side storylines tolong tied up by next week . We only have 2 more episodes to go, guys. 2 more episodes to go. Okay, so Kudo ada mengatakan trivia. Voice actor skeptic is Sugita Tomokazu, known for his work as Intoki in Gintama, as Kanor in Nanatsu no Taizai, and Kyon in Haruhi Suzumiya. So dia pelakon dia VA yang terkenal ke, guys?
Yeah, he's quite famous, especially for Haruhi Suzumiya punya series Kyon. He's the type of voice actor yang boleh cakap banyak for long periods of time. Blah 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 blah. Set up comedy, wordings and stuff. Orang yang jenis apa kalau cakap tongue twister takkan sangkut tau.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very professional, very established. If he's from the Haruhi Suzumiya show, right, that means he was part of the next wave of anime yang from the 90s to 2000, anime has one look. It's cool. Afterwards, it's moe. He was in the transition period of the time. Yeah.
Wow.
Kita boleh nampak the distinct years tau. The 80s, the Hokuto no Ken. Mama-mama yang buat the fillers pun macam tu. Tapi sekali jentik je, pecah. The Goku and all that. Then the 90s was the aku hero. Tapi dengan kuasa aku berusaha dengan kawan-kawan aku, we become heroes lah. So 2000 onwards, entah macam mana all this moe and then you see hero-hero yang handsome.
It is because Haruhi Suzumiya, dia punya last scene, one of the few last episodes, it was a talent time show. Apa nama tu yang Lost My Music? Who was that? They had this music scene. It has made a big impression in the anime industry. A lot of shows afterwards, they would try to recreate that feeling, that scene. That's why you got K-On, you got your Puella Magica afterwards. It is quite Haruhi Suzumiya is basically a trend-setting anime. It defined anime generations for decades afterwards.
Dang.
Is it that was the reason why a lot of idol punya anime started coming out?
Idol music has been around for a long time in anime. As far as I can remember, I think even Macross Robotech, Lil Minmay was the first idol character you see in anime. Yeah.
Betul.
Yeah, it's just that when people are making games and then they are making all those gacha things, anime and video games click, and then they elaborate on the plot and the story. It all comes together, and then when they try to market the things, anime is the best way to monetize it. So they invest this to make up all these anime idols. Biggest example is Cygames. They make Idol Master, which actually influence Love Live and all other anime afterwards.
Interesting. Walk down memory lane. Okay guys, so dengan itu we go to the meat of the story this week. Kita bakal membincangkan asal-usul TENKO SHIMURA. Okay, so babak keempat adalah TENKO SHIMURA Secret Origins, di mana asal-usul Shigaraki sebagai seorang budak didedahkan. So I think one of the saddest lines ialah bila mak dia cakap, your dad doesn't hate you, but he knows how hard it is to be a hero. So soalan aku kepada para panelis, pada pendapat anda, adakah trauma yang dialami ayah TENKO ataupun Shigaraki, Kotaro, ketika membesar sebagai anak kepada seorang hero, Nana, menyebabkan dia bermati-matian membenci quirks, hinggakan anak sendiri takut nak beritahu bahawa mereka ada quirks. Like I was quite surprised bila sister dia cakap, let's be like, the adik-beradik punya hero. So aku macam, it's it's a humble thing kan. I mean like, okay, your grandma is one of the premier heroes. Lepas tu, why does the father hate it so much sampai nak hide it? You know, sampai like he has only one rule in this house, do not talk about heroes. Lepas tu dia kena duduk kat luar sampai gelap kot. That's pretty traumatic I think. You know, so your trauma as a kid, you're passing it down to your kid as another traumatic experience. So kita tanya Shaz dulu as a anime only watcher, apakah pendapat kau tentang this revelation which I did not expect? Silakan.
Yep. Aku ingatkan Shigaraki was the yang anak kena, anak terbiar, kena what do you call it, the whole family dera and whatnot. But when I saw this story, aku rasa first thing first, Nana did something which by Western point of view is actually bagus.
Yes.
Because you have a separation from your kids. Especially considering that she was a high profile punya hero. Kalau macam less high profile punya hero, tak ada hal pun. But yang aku I'm not sure, there's a missing story point here. Nana abandon terus ke, or is this two parents dia give up for adoption? Beza besar tau. That kind of adakah mungkin dia macam like, Anah, aku bagilah to some random folks ni, these two people will take care of you forever, atau dia hilang?
Oh tak, those were his parents-in-law.
Parents-in-law dia?
Kotaro's parents-in-law, yeah. He married into that family.
Side.
The
mom's side. Yeah, the mom's side, bro.
Salah faham teruk ni.
He had no family on his side. He built a house for his wife and their parents and his kids. So maksudnya he is a self-made man lah. To become rich, he is a self-made man lah.
So then kalau macam tu kan, there is a part of his past yang kita tak tahu. There is a high chance that when he was given up for adoption or they abandoned apa ke, there could have been that the father himself kena, kena lempang, kena rotan and whatnot excessively, bukan yang bersebab. Kalau anak mencuri apa ke, kau rotan, is fair lah. Tapi kalau kau dapat 98,
because the letter seem minimal loh. Like, okay, mom have to go away to save the day, but you be a good boy, okay? So macam it doesn't look like she put him up for adoption or she left him. It seemed like so that villains don't come and beat the shit out of my son, I have to put him aside. Tu je. It seemed like that.
Itulah kan. So macam dia nak kata macam ni, dia kalau mamat ni dekat US kan, aku rasa dia tak ada masalah langsung. Sebab kat US kan, orang kaya macam ni semua akan check in to therapy. Dia akan masuk family counselling, dia akan masuk therapy, help me deal with my childhood trauma, Bukannya dia tak menyesal. Dia mention itu, I wish you had just hated me instead. That means dia tahu mak dia love him. Dia tahu that Nana love him as a mom, yang proper mom, tapi disebabkan the hero profession, that was the thing that made him hate the entire quirk and hero society ni. Tapi itulah, it does show that dia ni tak mature. Aku dah boleh dapat betul lah sekarang ni. It's like it's always to the right, always point to the right. So mama ni is tak mature tau. For somebody who is able to build a foundation, to make business, kau pandai relate sini, relate sana, kau boleh look at profits and everything, tapi engkau punya perangai sendiri, kau tak tahu nak buat apa. And it also is an attribution to Japanese culture jugalah. Where kau kena dengar to the father and the father only. He's the man in the house. Dia ada duit, dia lah yang boleh to set the rules and everything. Whereas in more open and liberal punya societies, it's a joint responsibility. It's not like mamat ni seorang, kau dengar cakap aku suruh kau terjun masuk lumpur pun kau terjun lah. So this guy clearly does not have maturity in that sense, and he's very old school tau. Not to say old school is bad, but dia jenis macam like, aku je betul. Why? Sebab aku yang berjaya. Tapi
I built this house. You staying in my home. These are my rules.
Itulah, it's not our house. It's not our family house. Tak, ini rumah yang aku buat. It's my success. So you have to listen to my rules. So you can see even the wife and the parent-in-laws pun macam like, you do this shit anymore, kita dah tak nak ikut by your rules lah. So macam like, wow.
Betul.
Very
Yeah, it's pretty sedih because it goes back to the father, not to him. Anri, how is this different from the manga? Was it adapted better or was anything left out?
This part was the same as portrayed in the manga. He's your typical Asian father. Everything I say goes. We don't know much about what happened after Nana put him up for, nak kata adoption tak lah. He just got moved to another location with another family lah. At least that's what was told. I'm pretty sure she didn't just leave him apa dekat bus station. Has some good luck apa.
Yeah.
Like that. And you have to understand, this is Japan tau. Japan has very strong social support for people, especially orphans tau. We know that budak tanpa ibu bapa, like they're 15 years old, they get provisions from the government because the tax there is very high. I think the tax for corporate, I think it's what, like 60%.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, last time I checked, this was before Rewa. I'm not sure about the revised one yet. They usually can support themselves, rent an apartment, buy food. If they get a second job, they could afford other luxuries. I think he didn't suffer after Nana passed him up for his safety. I just think he felt abandoned by the punya mother and didn't come to terms with that. Didn't go to counseling, didn't talk about it, and then build up the resentment. And then when All for One bunuh Nana kan, I think he saw the realities of a hero. They don't save the day all the time, they die. So I think that plays a part. Now Nana's gone. I don't have the chance to meet her again. This is the fate of heroes. Nothing good comes out of helping others for free, like playing the hero. So that maybe over the years, that was he believed. He makes a lot of hatred towards the hero profession. I'm not defending this guy. Apa dia buat is wrong. But I do understand dia punya dislike for the hero profession is unwarranted. But I do see the picture.
And then the next question that I have is, okay, so Nana inherited her powers from One for All, right? So it is not hereditary. The fact that TENKO Shimura has powers might come from the mother side, isn't it?
Could be.
Kita tak tahu bapak dia siapa.
Yeah. You have to understand, even though the father ada quirk, maybe he didn't manifest it openly, keep it under wraps.
Okay.
You have to understand, most people 80% ada quirk, but most of them just go through life normally. They don't become heroes. They just become a plumber,
because I was quite surprised to see that both children had powers. The sister was saying that, I have powers, we should be like adik-beradik, superheroes, So I'm like, if the father doesn't have powers and the mom doesn't have powers and Nana got the powers from somebody else, so where the fuck did that come from? It's like, tu je lah.
Tak, dia banyak lagi. I mean, from the mom, Shigaraki punya mom punya side, there's a lot of yang kita tak nampak. Then bapak Shigaraki ni pula, the father which was not shown, mana pergi bapak dia tu?
Betul.
That was one question lah. Nana punya husband siapa? Is it a hit and run ke? Oops, aku belah. So that might also be why dia overly attached to the mom. Because he had a deadbeat punya dad. It's like bam, oh shit, you're pregnant, bye-bye. Hilang. Yeah, we don't know sebab it was not mentioned. Dalam manga ada mention, Anri? Tak ada kan?
Tak ada. We don't know if she was married. We don't know if this guy was conceived through unwedded sex or anything. He just said that Nana is a single parent. I can recall anything else.
Okay.
Unless we get that My Hero Academia movie about the previous heroes, that'll be great
I
lah.
would love
Instead
that.
of the Terima Kasih saja.
Yeah, I would love that. 7 more movies to go. Better make it better. You know. Okay, so kita ada beberapa komen. Kudo mengatakan semua orang bersalah sebenarnya, not just Shigaraki's dad, due to their silence all those days. As for Hana, his sister, I don't think she pointed her finger at Shigaraki due to malice, you know, but more due to fear of her dad. She's only a child. Betul?
Yeah.
Betul?
Yeah, if you have siblings kan, when you do something wrong, you pointed the fault to your other siblings.
Gila tu kita pun.
Biasa lah.
Biasa lah.
Biasa lah. Okay. Komen seterusnya daripada Amirul. Amirul mengatakan, aku suka part yang dia kata it should not be like this. Mak dia tinggalkan dia, dia rasa trauma. Tapi dia sendiri ada dengan anak dia, still buatkan anak dia rasa trauma. Yeah, that is the tragic part of this whole origin lah. The fact yang the sins of the father menyebabkan the child becomes evil. Yeah, kita akan bincangkan lagi dalam segmen kita seterusnya.
You know what's more tragic? If this thing, if she macam give this ultimatum one day earlier, maybe they'll all leave tau.
Betul?
Yeah. One
Then Shigaraki will be like terjumpa the power, lepas tu macam like, Daddy, benda tu pecah. You ke? Is it a new power? Then they will like, let's try to figure it out and everything. So he realize it's a power that can be used to save people. Contohnya kalau katakan, if you can really control that power, ada bangunan roboh, mungkin dia boleh just small portion, aku pecahkan sini dulu,
Yes, clearkan the debris, save people,
Yang
become a support hero.
Aku suka Biro ni punya komen ni, aku nak recommendkan kepada penonton-penonton yang lebih muda. There is this video clip dekat YouTube, kita boleh cari pelakon famous Will Smith. Dia dengan in the 90s tak silap, he berlakon dalam cerita Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
There is one specific episode where Will punya father came for a visit. Ada promise nak bawa keluar, we're gonna go on trip. Last got COVID, tu dia belah. And the reaction of Will is one of the best. Sampai sekarang, some people say it was a good acting, some people say ada link with the dia punya real life father, but some people say it's not. Aku tak kisah.
It's not acting, it was a reaction.
Kan?
Yeah, he was reacting.
Dia punya outburst tu kan, that is the important thing. Because bapak dia abandon him. Dia tekad untuk to make sure that dia punya children, dia punya bini, whatever, will never go to the same. So aku rasa macam, kenapa lah si Bahlul ni, mak dia abandon dia boleh jadi duk berang nak lempang anak.
Betul.
Macam like,
Yes.
When people abandon you kan, usually you will hate the guy. That one aku takkan salahkan kau, itu memang hak kau. But most of the time kan, you will want to become better so that your children tak suffer the same thing. So this is like very like, dah lah kau kena abandon, lah tu kau pula jadi sampah. Macam like, teruknya mamak ni.
Dia macam ada blind spot. Dia tak nampak that he's doing the exact same thing to his own children.
And worse.
Yes.
And worse. So the wife semua tu pun takut lah kan. Macam like, mamak ni jenis yang main lempang ni. Jenis yang, even towards the end tu, bukannya nak, sabar salah. Aku ambil kau. Like, stop right now. Like, stop.
Yang dipukul dengan penyapu. Fuck weh.
Itu bukan penyapu, itu batang besi.
Fuck man.
You have to understand, Shigaraki, when he used the wave, right? Part of the house punya infrastructure plumbing kan terkeluar tau. That was one of those things yang terkeluar. And the reason why the mother sabar all this time is because she's the Japanese wife. The husband is the head of the house. It's all about tradition. But even she see kan, dia bersabar masa bapak dia suruh anak dia tidur dengan anjing tu kat luar, Mon. Dia sabar because no violence. Dia sabar bila bapak dia hempuk tampar macam tu. But this is the first time dia nampak bapak dia hempuk betul-betul kan. Because he saw the gambar nenek dia, Nana. So that was the breaking point for her. So her reaction is realistic. I mean, you tengoklah drama Melayu kita kan, the abused wife, how much bullshit she had to swallow, ketahan. I'm pretty sure saya muak tengok, but in reality it's what the victim are facing. They had to stomach this for the children, or because they have no choice. So in this case, it's not out of the ordinary for her to react like this. Matter of fact, when she put her feet down and the in-laws kata, okay, kita pun nak keluar juga. This is not we signed up for when we stayed here.
Betul.
It was quite a good reaction from them. Unfortunately, it just came a bit too late lah.
Yes, everything happened in that one traumatic night lah. And Amirul ada bagi tahu, oh yang ni pun aku paling sedih tu. Bila mak dia is running towards him, even though she knows the wave is going to kill her. Aku macam, fuck we, kenapa
Sedih.
Kenapa lah babi?
Honestly aku terkejut tau. The how graphic this episode is compared to how graphic book 4 punya ending of Harry Potter, the tone punya skip tu kan, this one is like, itu yang siapa ada penonton tadi cakap aku terus cancel nak recommend ke nephew aku yang umur 11 tahun. Seriously, aku setuju tau. Because it's not just like then dia just jatuh, pecah jadi batu tau. That one orang boleh terima. Sebab we are used to seeing, but this one when you break apart and you have, sebab the petrification tu tak perfect lagi tau masa ni.
Yeah.
And tinggal puddle of blood and meat, kau tahu macam like, weh, for a show that is being watched by children,
Man.
by a lot of children at this point of time, macam like,
It started with the corgi lah. The eyeball of the corgi tu gradually becoming black. And then pecah jadi cubes of meat. Aku macam what the fuck?
Yang kalau living being jadi batu has been shown enough in fiction and even in younger punya ni. So dia orang macam like, oh okay lah, dia dah jadi batu. It's like okay lah. Dia macam dia jadi batu, kau boleh terima tau. Ini pecah jadi meat, bones and blood semua tau. Macam like, weh.
Man.
Macam kau tengok orang dekat Facebook group US international semua ni kan. Dia orang pun banyak, dia orang tu pun teenagers Dia orang tengok orang macam Endeavour pun dah tak boleh nak accept simple bullying macam Bakugo as a bully pun dah tak boleh accept. Ini
It's a cute corgi. It's a cute corgi. But it's your sister. But it's your mom. Aku macam fuck is this.
Siapa yang mention tadi? Was it you ke or penonton yang kata yang the mom knowingly still, aku masih sayang, yes. Aku still sayang anak aku. Cuma aku ni manusia lemah, so tak tahu nak buat apa. Still nak, please, I want to save my son. I know something's wrong, but it's probably not his fault at this point of time. So, boom. Bapak dia kan baseball. Walau.
Terus dia bakar. Sorry.
I have to admit.
Dah lepas mau cakap ekor berhenti sekarang. Weh. Itu yang melampau tu.
Itu yang. We'll talk about that more in the next segment. Anri, anything before we go?
The mother scene was quite, I think it's quite one of the most I would say the greatest scene inside the episode lah. It shows that the mother kan, she didn't think, she just react as a mother.
Yes.
She saw the daughter kena reput in front of her, and then she saw dia punya son jerit. She knows that this guy did it, but he wanted to save him anyway. So that was a great scene. I'm pretty sure this episode was very. This was a great episode actually, overall. Definitely. But it was very, very, very graphic. Yeah, and this is the most graphic moment that you see. It's just a mother going to her doom to save dia punya child.
Yeah, knowing that it will bring her doom, but going anyway.
But going anyway. It didn't even say or mention, no build up. It happened and it stayed with you. I think it's an effective moment. You don't have to talk much, but you still remember it. I think everyone here remembers that scene.
Yeah.
Kau bayangkan several episodes ago kan, kita duk gelak-gelak dengan pijak pedal tu kuat sikit. So somebody who's been watching the whole series tengok kita duk kutuk-kutuk sebenarnya kan, when you see this episode for the first time,
man.
Kalau macam cerita Hokuto no Ken tu bertumbuk-bertumbuk semua pecah, okay lah, par for the course. Ini cerita yang dia All Might punya punch pun tak pecah orang ke tu. Tiba-tiba macam like
It's a total shift in the series. By the way, Kudo mengatakan perhaps Shigaraki's mom ran towards him knowing her death is her atonement.
There you go.
Sedih. And then the last comment adalah daripada the last two comments. Amirul bertanya, adakah Nana successor kuasa All Might ataupun All for One? Yes, jawapan dia adalah ya. Kemudian Ian Wayan menambah Nana ada power, but One for All is different from her power. Her powers will be explained later.
So Nana actually ada power and inherit One for All sekali.
I want to know more about this shit. Tak boleh beritahu ke? Tak boleh spoil ke?
I'm just saying apa Nana's hot.
Fantastic.
Kan apa in this season kan, when Deku kata dekat All Might he has met apa Nana, right? And then All Might kata she's hot, right? Yeah.
Macam budak-budak kan? Lawan tu.
She's hot, yeah.
Aduh. Okay guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita bakal membincangkan babak terakhir yang agak dark. Babak terakhir kita adalah tentang Tenko Shimura, serial killer, di mana Tenko atau Shigaraki mendapat kuasanya untuk kali pertama dan sifat kejahatan timbul sejak kecil lagi. So this is the final line in the episode. At that very moment, I clearly had the intention to kill. An unspeakable exhilaration filled my limbs and ran into my veins. Perhaps deep down, I had hoped for this to happen. Ever since then, the itch has stopped. Kau macam fuck weh. This is fucked up gila weh. Kan the whole episode kan dia macam katalah. Then after killing his whole family, dia macam ever since then the itch has stopped. So soalan aku kepada para panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang pendedahan bahawa Shigaraki memang jahat sejak dia kecil lagi? Adakah dia mangsa yang tersakiti dengan prejudis ayahnya tersendiri terhadap quirks? So is it the sins of the father or is Shigaraki pure evil from birth? Bincangkan. Kita mulakan dengan Shaz. Silakan Shaz.
Soalan yang sangat berat. So kalau ada orang tak puas hati tu, hopefully dia orang ada dia punya counter lah. Tapi before we go into benda yang berat, aku just nak mention dia punya rambut daripada hitam jadi kelabu that is a side effect of dia punya decay power unleashing. So most aku punya spekulasi that dia punya power tu was out of control or awakening at that time. So dia punya rambut jadi kelabu tu jadi tua lah, macam kita punya uban ni. It's a dark grey punya ni. So it aged him dari segi psychologically, tapi mungkin kat rambut dia je. So soalan beratnya, adakah dia serial killer? Tak. Bagi aku ini semua salah bapak dia. There's a lot of things kita boleh tengok First kali yang dia duk tergaru-garu kan, macam like kenapa aku macam rash and everything kan. Setengah orang bila dia ada tension tinggi ataupun dia ada stress and so on, dia boleh rasa macam like gatalnya aku ni stress tau. So that is actually dia punya body punya reaction to all of the stress and tension that he's been getting. That's why dia kata budak masuk rumah ni duduk tak habis gatal macam like dia budak macam dia nak explain kan. Dia cuma tahu aku ada gatal mungkin eczema ke, mak dia tengok
Yeah.
tak ada pun eczema kat sini, mak
But
ada.
his skin is starting to like, you know, macam bukan
Merekah.
mereput tapi berkedut lah, merekah ya.
So I tak tahu lah, that could be the effect of dia punya ability or dia punya stress punya levels are getting very high lah. Some people bila dapat stress kan tiba-tiba badan dia ruam. So it's a very weird thing lah. So kedua, the moment dia kata aku sangat gembira atau macam like because the source of his pain dah hilang.
His father.
Mak dia punya grandparents, dia punya sister, anjing dia, semua dia tak blame. Tapi dia dalam hati dia, tolonglah aku, kenapa tak tolong aku? Tapi dia tak blame langsung tu. Dia cuma feel betrayed. But the one person dia bengang was the father.
Yeah.
And that was when bila dia kill at that point tu kan. Because dia dah last dah ni, dia dah minta tolong dah ni. Family semua dah mampu dengan tangan aku ni. Kau lempang aku dengan pipe besi. Bangsat lah. So dia dah snap tau. At that point in time kan, dia dah snap. And he removed the source of his pain. Because bukan saja the father hilang tau. The house that he grew up in with almost no good memories, he's gone. So dalam hati dia, kau suruh lah. Macam kau bayangkan macam The Joker, tiba-tiba one day dia kalahkan Batman. Wow. Aku rasa lega. Aku macam like, wow, happy gila kan. But you will feel emptiness kat dalam. So the thing is, kalau you dah cross a certain line dalam anime, RPG, they tend to have this concept, the stroke tau. The moment you kill your parents, that is the last line. If you can cross that line, then you become the absolute murderer or killer. I mean, kau dah tak ada hati pun. Sampai mak kau sendiri kau boleh kill off kan. So the bezanya dia tak bunuh mak dia dengan sengaja tu.
Yang lain semua macam I'm sorry. Tapi yang ni is like
he lost control.
Die. This is why he literally said die.
Literally. Itulah.
Yeah.
But after that dia ada remorse. Dia sedih. Itu yang all for one. Dia jumpa, kesian kau. Hero mana? Siapa tak tolong kau? Tak apa, aku dekat sini. I am here. So this is a case of somebody whose ability memang most likely was to decay or to cause things to break apart. Kenapa? Kita tak tahu. That is quote ni kan is partly plot punya convenience kan. Kita perlukan orang yang boleh pecahkan benda. So dia ni dah kasih kena lempang. Sampai orang yang the last person yang tolong dia pun betray dia. Of course kakak dia budak lah kan. Memanglah budak. Mestilah dia tak nak selamatkan diri kan. Especially from a father macam tu. But as far as he's concerned, cuma anjing ni seorang je yang tak pernah betray aku. Only this kok. Dia yang sayang aku. And never, sebab anjing tak boleh nak marah dia master kan. So yang lain semua kenapa korang tak marah dia? Why tak ada stop him? Let's say lah one day kan, kalau or maybe in the story the mom maki lah, janganlah lempang kau sangat, kau ni kenapa kan depan dia. Then okay lah kan, dia tak adalah rasa macam mak dia tak protect, but the whole family semua passive macam takut, tak nak cakap, just dengar je. So yeah, it's a case of why stress from all the pressure and everything, sekali dah release bila dia murder, that's why dia after that dia tak ada gatal-gatal lah. Dia kata from that moment aku tak gatal, And yet at the very moment dia tengah lawan Re-Destro, dia duduk tergaru-garu lah. Dia dah start recalling the past tau. Because the same amount of stress and the fact that mungkin dia dah kena lempang so kuat, macam dia kena lempang macam dengan bapak dia, that same traumatic experience tu juga balik dia punya memory. Sebab as we know, memories, the stronger kita punya emotions, dengar bunyi ke, bau ke, rasa ke and so on kan, lagi kuatlah memory tu.
Make sense.
That is why over time I think dia punya final moral punya link tu dah habis He can kill without remorse. Tapi he doesn't really find joy Dia tak ada senang-senang bunuh-bunuh. Kau mampus. Kau tak guna. Bunuh. Tak ada. He only kill people who are in his way. Like get lost. You're in my way. That's it. Dia tak ada find enjoyment bunuh orang for bunuh orang punya sake. So, I don't think he's a serial killer.
For now. Next week episode, we're gonna see apa pula dia kena brainwash dengan, All for One. Anri, how does this compare to the manga? Did you enjoy this more? Was this darker? Silakan.
Yeah, this is much darker. I enjoy it better than the manga. Like I said, this is the second week they hit a home run when it comes to versus dengan manga. They did a good transition work, relaying all the emotions in this story. As for Shigaraki, I don't think he's a serial killer. I think he wants to become a hero, but because of the things that he's done in the past, he knows that he can actually become a real hero. So he's going to channel it into dia punya mission lah, to change the system so that he can actually be some sort of hero in his own right.
Macam Captain ni. There will be a new society where the strongest shall rule. Aku macam, shut the fuck up, loser.
Because the League of Villains, they said they want to destroy the system so they can create a new system, which is the true justice and all that bullshit. And Shigaraki not scratching. I think it's a coping mechanism lah. He lied to himself that when he was killing the father kan, he was happy. I think it's just a justification to block out all the pain that he does to the punya mother, sister, grandparent dia. I think he's just lying to himself.
Menarik.
And the fucked up thing is he still has their hands on his neck, on his face, on his arms. Maksudnya macam
There was
a form of like atonement ataupun repentance. Macam, I'm sorry I killed you, your hands will always be with me. Ke apa?
It could be atonement, it could be a coping mechanism. Like I said last week, right? Sometimes people when they are nervous, they rub their hands together or scratch their head, something like that. It's a coping mechanism. This is probably his coping mechanism.
Lepas tu yang gilanya, he knows the hand by who it is. It's like, that's Hannah's hand. That's my sister's hand. Macam, fuck.
Itu yang scary tu. Tak, yang best kan, the doctor went and pick those hands up tu.
Yes. Yang tu pun equally fucked up juga.
Tapi
These
kan,
are your family members' hands.
You know what's the real tragedy tak? Kalau bapak dia tak bangsat kan, this guy would have been a good hero. Sebab dia explain dengan mak dia, aku main dengan kawan-kawan aku, kita semua main hero, dan kata, kau ni budak baik lah, you are a good person lah, orang tak layan, tak join dengan kita pun kau rela main dengan kita kan. So not only is the father ultimately indirectly responsible for his pain and future evolution as a villain, but they also lost a potentially good hero tau. So double whammy.
Like a good support hero.
I forgot to mention this lah. You notice Shigaraki masa budak kan, nampak sebiji macam Midoriya. You notice
itu mangaka punya art style banyak rupa sama. Kalau kita tengok kan, Toga punya first crush pun rupa macam Midoriya. So macam like is that why Toga pun diikut Shigaraki? Tak tahulah. Aku rasa dia punya art style
Dia
lah.
punya art style tu, ya.
Yeah.
It's quite limited in that sense.
It's just that I think this is purposely done to show that Shigaraki and Midoriya are two sides of the same coin now. One either could end up as a hero villain if the
Yes.
if the conditions are different.
Yeah, it's all about the context. At the end of the day, that's how your destiny changes. It's as simple as that. So aku dah terlalu banyak fikir variant dan multiverse. Nearly everything I watch these days is a variant on a multiverse. Aku tak ada buat apa-apa tu. It's like, even like I saw a comedy on Apple TV Plus hari tu. It's not a comedy, it's like a dramedy. Mr. Corman. Episode number 9 was a multiverse where different versions of Mr. Corman, ada yang jadi businessman, ada yang jadi loser, it's about a loser. It's about a loser that teaches 11-year-olds at a school, but he wished that he was a rock star instead. Cuma he was born in he lives in 2020 something where rock is not the thing anymore. Now it's stupid rap. So it's today it's about Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But even episode 9 multiverse, aku macam fuck lah, fucking way. Macam semua benda is multiverse and variants. But okay, kita ada 3 komen menarik. Pertama, Iqbali bertanya, Nick, kau mention pasal tangan family dia. Bukankah tangan dia orang hancur sekali kena dengan Tomura? Tangan mak dia masa nak capai dia dah hancur. So, adakah ini satu penipuan daripada profesor dan All for One to psycho the kid? We'll save this for the next segment, iaitu spekulasi untuk episod minggu depan. We'll save it for that. Seterusnya, Amirul mengatakan seorang dapat mak yang sentiasa menyayangi, seorang lagi dapat bapa yang tersakiti. Sedih tu.
Deep gila tu. Two sides of the same coin, ya.
Deku's mom as fuck. Walaupun anaknya jadi hero, dia takut anak dia mati ke apa, tapi she supports, Dia boleh kecil sejak
tak, yang best tu kan, mak Deku berani stand up to All Might. No. All Might tu like, kalau anak aku duk cedera tak habis macam ni kan, kau boleh berkambus.
Yes. That's all. It's a small thing though. Kita tak perasan how we can impact somebody's life. Tak kisahlah anak saudara ke, anak kau sendiri ke, anak murid kat sekolah ke. But yeah, it's the little things that matter, because this is masa formative years diorang. When they don't know the world yet. So korang yang dah uncle-uncle ni, korang kena faham, you have a very big power, walaupun to your own nieces or to your own children. Okay, seterusnya Iqbali mengatakan, soalan nak tanya, apa korang rasa Tomura nak family dia kata dekat dia yang dia asyik ulang, I hope you said this to me? I think it's as simple as I love you ataupun I forgive you. Pendapat panelis, Shaz?
Ada ke yang lain? Aku punya side yang IQE tu mungkin dia guna line lain. But I think that was the time when they really wish that someone tried to protect him.
Yeah.
Instead of, selalu macam like, kau buat lagi aku kena lempang je ke. At least kan, kalau dia tengok parents dia bergaduh, at least dia boleh tengok, okay, mak aku ni baik, bapak aku ni bangsat. That kind of thing. But macam mak dia pun like,
yeah,
janganlah.
Part of her anger is that the mom, the grandpa and the grandma never said anything versus the father.
Lepas tu, you kena faham your daddy macam tu. Member tu dah pening. Dah lah kena lempak, lepas tu dah kena pujuk. Jangan blame your father, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Itu yang dia fed up pun.
Anri, was this ever brought forward in the manga?
No lah, this is just this is just I can't recall much of this thing that mentioned lah. You have to understand, this is, in the manga, right, it's just macam flashback moment tau. Yeah. So there wasn't much to elaborate on actually.
Oh, so basically the anime extended it in a sense to make it
It extended. Everything that you recall could be part from your memory, what you decipher for yourself lah.
Alright. Okay. Seterusnya Ian Wayan menambah, aku suka. This is a very nice comment. Ada fan teori online yang kata gatal Shigaraki tu sebab quote dia slowly eating his skin and tak gatal selepas tak gatal lepas guna quirk. Kalau tengok pas episod Shigaraki dewasa pun kulit gatal lagi. Yes, I think Shaz ada cakap masa lawan Re-Destro tu dia mula macam tu ya.
Betul lah. Tapi when Ian ni dia punya point is that his quirk actually is helping his skin. Macam dia kata apa, what was it yang kita kata macam ada plot armor and whatnot kan. So when he activate dia punya power, it stops dia punya own self decay because he's channeling the decay outwards. Instead of like rotating around him all the time. Because as we know, kalau kulit tu makin kering, dia akan jadi gatal. That's why kalau aku rasa kalau dia letak moisturizer, hilang kot gatal dia.
Nah.
Betul. Okay,
it's just like hormones. Like macam budak apa, when your hormones inside your body, you tak channel out, apa, you becomes apa macam acne and all those apa rashes lah. Yeah. That's why some when you go if you remember during high school, right, some of your schoolmate kan tak ada macam acne problem kan, is because they do something, they play with themselves lah apa, toceng apa 10 kali sehari, clear skin. Could be the same case Shigaraki lah.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright, seterusnya Kudo mengatakan he thinks that gatal ni is a coping mechanism. As Anri says, tangan his dad on his face reminds him of the pain, yet it gives him comfort pasal familiarity. The other hands, because regardless of the tragedy, those hands love him. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I think his father was trying to touch his face, right? That was the last thing his father was trying to do, right? And then he went like, die. So yeah, I guess so lah. And then comment like one ni aku tak faham sangat. It's quite weird. Dia mengatakan dari masa Deku jumpa waktu kecil menipu, Deku tiada kuasa ke? Sebab dia anak buah one for all, orang yang buat nombor.
Oh, ini teori yang dia orang kata, aku tak tahu betul ke tak lah sebab anime tak tunjuk lagi kan. The theory that the doctor tu at the start of the show masa dia jumpa Deku is actually the same doctor yang kita tengok sekarang ni.
The one that works, the partner of All for One. Is it?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
That's why they have that link. Mungkinkah at that point of time sebenarnya dia menipu that Deku ni sebenarnya tak ada power. But aku rasa tak, because usually kalau parents ada kuasa A, your mom ada kuasa B, most likely you akan ada A atau B atau AB. Dia macam darah juga. Dia tak boleh macam fire and ice parents, tiba-tiba ada orang ada kuasa terbang for no reason. Dia macam
random.
Dia tak random macam tu. So which then raises a lot of question. Kenapa si Mamat ni dapat kuasa yang boleh decay tau?
Betul.
Dari mana datang tu?
Yes. Adakah itu kuasa Nana juga decay? So adakah maksudnya Deku satu hari akan ada kuasa decay? One of the 6 bro, yang dia tak tahu lagi dia hanya dapat Black Whip dia ada lagi 6 kuasa.
Ada. Nana punya power is hot.
Apa sebab bila aku tanya soalan tu Anri tak tunjuk muka dia? Kimak betul Anri. Kimak betul Anri.
Susah nak cakap.
Nana punya power is that she is very attractive and she is very strong. That's why Deku selalu attract ramai-ramai orang, girls around dia. And then Bakugo pun macam like, aku bengang dengan budak ni, tapi aku selalu dekat dia. Aku akan selalu ingat dia. Itu lah teori Anri tu.
Kemudian Light One menambah dia percaya dengan teori yang doktor tu memang partner All for One sebab design sama, lebih kepada detail kecil yang orang tak perasan. I don't know, have you seen the episode again? Have you seen the first episode all over again?
Ada from the flashback and the current one memang nampak it looks enough, macam spek dia tebal, misai dia pun lebih kurang sama. But the real question is that part yang dia tanya adakah dia menipu. Aku rasa yang tu dia tak ada. Sebab there is no manifestation of dia boleh levitate benda, or dia orang kata bapak dia fire breather pun tak keluar. Unless there was a lie lah, that means bapak dia bukan mamak fire breather. It could have been some random guy. So macam like dah ada deku dalam perut, mama dia pun kata jom kahwin. Yang betul pun okay lah.
I guess we will know more lah. Macam Anri diam je, but I guess we will know more about Deku.
That's the best part. Kita tengok anime juga, anime macam like
I can just say, right, there's a possibility, right, that he was working for all for one at that particular hospital, and that hospital is like the main hospital in charge of identifying quirks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kau nak
So
tahu?
maybe
Sorry.
So maybe he wasn't lying, but that was the same person who actually worked for All for One. So those are two different things lah. Dia work for All for One in the shadows, but on his day job is basically becoming a double agent at that government hospital. You know, taking all those sample mayat semua tu. You know,
finding the next target to go and attack. Yeah, fucked up gila tu.
You know what's really
he found that budak
really
kena power kan, lost interest, never mention anything to All for One.
Betul. Yeah, it's a long con, man. All for One. This is how All for One gets new recruits.
Yep. Kau tahu Nomu, one of the Nomu kan ada wings kan? Ada fans mention that the mangaka himself ada noted that Nomu with the wings is kawan Bakugo masa dia muda.
Oh.
Okay.
So aku tak tahu macam mana they find out this thing or where they get this source, tapi kalau betul, so like
wow. That's a dark destiny sial. Now like semua flashback aku nak tengok okay kawan siapa pula Nomu. Kawan siapa pula Nomu.
Dah takut tau macam like ni is it kawan dia orang masa muda ke? Kawan dia orang masa muda ke?
Fuck man.
Yeah. I remember kawan Bakugo satu memang ada sayap masa kat tepi sungai tu.
Sayap tapi dia tak guna. Dia tak jadi hero.
Yeah, and we didn't see him anymore. He probably died.
The doctor has taken notice.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry puan, anak engkau telah meninggal disebabkan sakit kanser.
Obesity, all those things lah.
Pada dia.
Terima kasih. Okay, so aku rasa aku terlupa nak baca komen ni. Ke aku dah baca? Riz Milk bertanya, saja nak tanya panelis, adakah anda akan review anime Star Wars Visions pada September 22 nanti? Jawapannya ya. Aku baru dapat confirmation. Aku tengah nak dapat confirmation dengan Disney Plus Hotstar Malaysia for review copies. Tapi aku seorang je lah akan dapat tengok. Yang lagi Shaz tak dapat tengok. Anri tak dapat tengok. But it's gonna be 4 of us. Wan Muhammad, aku, Shaz dan juga Anri. Kita akan cover for the next 9 weeks starting from September 22 nanti. So sama-sama kita nantikan. Right. So like one pula berkata cucu doktor tu ada sayap lah, sayap merah.
Cucu doktor tu ke?
Tu bukan Bakugo, tu cucu dia. Macam okay.
Tak, adakah cucu doktor tu kawan Bakugo?
Tak tahu.
I think it's better we do not pry deeper. Getting darker and darker than Stranger Things.
Yeah, man.
Anjing mati pun kita dah panik.
Yeah, man. Okay guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah 5 babak menarik daripada episod minggu ini dan kita bakal membincangkan harapan kami bagi episod minggu depan. Right, sorry, connection aku lagi gila malam ni. So aku tak tahu theme song dah start ke, theme song dah habis ke.
Boleh. Dah tukar dah.
Okay. Dah tukar dah, okay. So anyway, judul episod minggu depan adalah Tomura Shigaraki Origin. So kita nampak yang beyond this tragedy that happened to him, the death of his family at his own ends, yang I guess we were going to get more backstory between him, the professor and all for one. So apakah spekulasi anda? Adakah tangan-tangan ni sebenarnya professor tu buat untuk psycho TENKO SHIMURA? And kenapa nama dia berubah from TENKO SHIMURA to Tomura Shigaraki? Is this to protect identity punya shit ke? I don't understand. It's a whole different family name. Is that going to be revealed next episode? Bincangkan, silakan.
Aku rasa tukar nama tu is more for protection of identity je lah. That one is tak ada anything special about it. But kalau you imagine kalau all for one, dia dah cari anak family Nana semua ni kan, dia mesti dah boleh jumpa lah. Ni nama macam Nana punya Senin je aku flip off. Kita dah tengok presiden dalam cerita Terminator.
Sarah
From the
Connor.
future, satu negeri tu semua Sarah Connor dia bunuh. Macam like,
Betul, macam
weh,
jimat tu. Macam jimat.
sampai masuk the news kan. Non-stop. Orang nama Sarah Connor kena bunuh. Member semua naik panik.
To be fair, right, it was the time where the internet was young. The only guide they can have is the phone book. Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Yellow Pages.
There was just intranet at the military level. It wasn't even at the commercial level yet. So memang phone book lah.
Bukannya dia tengok ada Facebook kan. Oh, this guy.
Oh, kalau tidak sekarang, he just, log on and then he can see Sarah Connor punya like, OnlyFans account, Sarah Connor IG account. So many Sarah Connors, it's like.
Just to be safe, I kill every Sarah Connor. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Dia punya soalan asal dia tadi yang tangan tu, honestly, after dah tengok this episode kan, aku dah goyang dah, because firstly prediction dah salah. Mujur lah aku tak ada apa, jom kita bet Taco Bell. Macam aku like, no, tak mau. But dia macam, aku ingatkan itulah macam some of it yang kita tengok di animation, tangan dia pecah tau.
Yes.
And kalau you tengok the hands, semua roughly the same shape. So like, bukan same shape, sorry, same size. Although ada different poses kan. Satu pegang macam ni, satu pegang macam ni. At first I thought memang dia kena abuse gila-gila lah. That's why dia mengamuk one day and everything. But now it's a case of a single abusive parent and the rest of the family, dia rasa let him down.
Yeah.
Tambah pula bila pecah-pecah hancur tau. Macam like, kalau dia tunjuk tangan tu ada glue, aku boleh percaya lah. Dia macam like, oh dia recover lah. But then comes the question, macam mana kau boleh cari, oh ini sambung sini, ini sambung sini.
Through the debris. It's like you're sifting through debris to make
the entire house boom tau.
Yeah.
So aku rasa based on what we know now, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Sebab dia nampak tangan tu, dia dah boleh tahu dah. Rupa macam ni, oh ni tangan kakak aku, ini tangan bapak aku. But now, dalam kepala dia dah boleh flashback all the way to the past tu and see the truth with his own eyes. Aku rasa those are fake hands lah.
So, I look forward to seeing permainan hangat daripada All for One ni lah dengan Professor tu. Like, hey, we just took this kid in. He has very destructive powers. How do we control him? I want to see that scene now. Them talking about it.
Tapi aku rasa,
I know you cannot spoil anything. Tapi
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just giving you an option, an approach, an idea that you might think about it lah.
Okay.
Keep in mind the doctor works in this big hospital. What if the hands are really dia punya family hands? Dia kumpul mayat tu after the tragedy and then they clone it from the bangkai. You have to understand.
He is all about cloning.
Nomu. He's been cloning Nomu all this time. So for him to clone a hand, it's just like a side effect, after effect, something like that. It's just a small work for him.
That's crazy shit, man. I think that is more deranged. Pasal tangan dah jadi debu. Oh tak apalah, let's just clone the family members, cut off their fucking hands, and then discard their bodies just to have the hands.
You imagine this.
What's more deranged, right? Shigaraki can actually recognize the hand touches tau, the warmth, the smell.
Yang ni grandpa aku. That means he had to age up the clones. He had to age up the clones. Fucked up though.
Yeah, I told you last week, right? I just give you a hint kan. Maybe All for One did not cause all this. And secara kebetulan memang betul. He was not involved with this whole tragedy. He took advantage after the tragedy.
Yes.
But he was not responsible for all this. This was all the father punya fault. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm just laying out the ideas and options. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm just, kasih teori Brazil dengan teori Argentina at the same time. Up to you nak makan mana.
I bet you hari Sabtu ni aku dengan Syaz akan menyumpah kalau tak betul.
Aku
Fuck
aku
lah,
teringat
cerita Anri lagi best daripada cerita My Villain Academia.
aku teringat cerita Piramli kan. Ini semua salah bapak. Anakku Shazli kan, bapak yang bersalah. Aku like, wow.
Yeah man.
Memang betul lah bapak dia yang bersalah in this case.
Yeah man.
Tapi that cloning theory aku risau tu. It's like
Yeah, man.
it's feasible sebab the doctor works in dia ambil blood sample and everything. Dia mestilah family ni macam best kan aku.
Yeah. Just remember, he is in charge to take a sample of DNA everyone to confirm dia punya quirk, including Deku tau. The reason why Deku tak ada, All for One tak ada sample Deku kan is because he has no quirk. So memang dia buang apa that sample.
Oh, menarik. Very nice theory. Yeah, I mean if you have no value, that's why dia tak ambil.
Tak ingat?
Yeah, you go through thousands of data and blood and takkan kau nak simpan insignificant shit. You just let it pass, man. Alright guys, so I guess dengan itu berakhirlah segmen kita malam ini. Terima kasih kerana menonton guys. Dan terima kasih kepada para panelis, Shaz, Kaki anime kita dan Anri, Kaki manga. Jumpa lagi di episod minggu depan. Esok kita akan cover siri TV baru ya, Why the Last Man, sebuah siri TV sci-fi daripada FX on Hulu tentang bagaimana sekiranya semua lelaki di dunia mati dalam satu hari kerana wabak pandemik kecuali one guy, Yorick Brown. Sebab tu tajuk siri ini adalah Why the Last Man. We're gonna review tomorrow. Aku, Anri, Duan dan juga panelis terbaru kita, Jamal Raslan. Hari Khamis kita akan cover Stargirl. Hari Jumaat kita akan cover What If episode 6. Hari Sabtu maybe kalau cukup quorum kita akan buat trailer breakdown The Matrix Resurrection. Dan hari Ahad kita akan cover Kimi no Nawa Your Name yang baru keluar di Netflix 2 minggu lepas. Okay guys, so yes, terima kasih kerana menonton. Jumpa lagi, majulah fandom untuk negara. Bye guys.